Hi, welcome back. Welcome to Readers in the Making. And today we're going to be talking about small wins in reading, that we want to celebrate small wins in reading because we know it's so important for kids. Hope you'll stick around. Welcome to Readers in the Making, the live show where we celebrate the magic of books and the joy of helping kids grow as readers. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just someone who loves fostering a deep, lifelong love of reading, you're in the right place. Each week, I will dive into actionable tips, creative strategies, and inspiring stories to help you nurture confident, curious, and excited readers, one page at a time. I'm Trina Debery, your host and biggest cheerleader in the journey of building readers. So grab your coffee, your notebook, or maybe even your favorite book, and let's get ready to inspire the next generation of readers. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Let's dive in. Hi! So, hopefully today the music wasn't like doubly playing at the same time because I think I fixed it, but you never know. So I'm really excited to be talking about small wins today, talking about the importance of building confidence with kids. And small wins really can be the key because kids often feel really overwhelmed with reading when they sit down to larger chunks of text, or they feel like they have to do it in some kind of a time frame, or they have to do it for 30 minutes, or they have to do it for whatever is dictated, and that can feel overwhelming to kids that struggle, or kids that feel like that's a lot at one time, or kids that don't love reading. And so it's really, really important to celebrate those small victories because that really helps a child build their confidence. And really the key to getting kids to read a lot or to love reading is for them to feel really good about it. We want them to love it, and they're not going to love it if they don't feel good about it. So it's really important for them to feel good and successful. So let's start with one of the first things that we can consider a small win, and that is letting kids pick their own books. When they've picked their own book, we want to celebrate that. We don't want to give them a hard time about, is that the right book for you? Do you think that's too hard? That's too easy? You should be reading something harder. You should be challenging yourself. We don't want that language. The point is to build confidence. And when we say things like that, not even meaning to, just because that's what we've heard from school, that's what we've heard from friends, that's what our best friend's daughter's reading this and that. And this is when the comparison game has to stop. So we want to celebrate when a child chooses a book, whether it's too hard or too easy. If it's too easy, that's great. They can practice fluency, they can practice intonation, they can practice voices, they can practice reading at a pace that sounds like a conversation. There is a point in reading a book that's too easy. So that's okay. That's great. We want to celebrate that as a win. Now, if they pick something that's too difficult, that's also great because that means it's a time for you and your child to bond. That's the opportunity for you to read out loud to them. In fact, I just heard this really interesting little tidbit on Instagram, and I can't remember who the person is. She has a podcast. She has a podcast about read alouds. She's phenomenal. And she was talking about reading aloud is one of the only ways that people actually hear that specific kind of grammatically correct language, that higher level type of language. Because often when we are reading ourselves and when good readers are reading, they kind of skip those connecting words. And so they're just getting the gist of it and they don't have to be specific about each word. And so sometimes it's not grammatically correct. And then we listen to, podcasts and we watch movies and TV. And most of the time we're not listening to grammatically correct language. So this is the opportunity to hear that grammatically correct language in a read aloud. So take that opportunity and celebrate that as a win. They picked a book that you can read together, that you might be doing all of the reading or most of the reading, and that's okay too, because they're picking something that they want to read. That is a small win. So keep that in mind. They're taking ownership of their reading journey, and that's a win, my friend. All right, reading a single page or a sentence. I know it might not feel like it's a lot, but it's the beginning and it's a win. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on everything being a win because we're building confidence. So every one sentence is progress. Acknowledging phrases like, you did it, you're awesome, wow, you read that sentence so beautifully, it sounded just like when you talk, and that's what we want to do. Or, oh, you read that just like the character might sound, or anything like that, something positive. All right, the next small win that I want us to focus on is when a child asks a question about a story. This is another win because they're showing an interest in something and they're furthering their comprehension and their development. So curiosity is a sign of engagement, and that is a win. Celebrate when your child asks, what happens next? Or why did that happen? Or even when they say, I'm confused, because they're thinking about the text. I'm confused means they're actually thinking. So we're going to celebrate all of that as a win. All right. Another time we want to celebrate a win, the fourth time, is trying a new word. When a child tries a new word, especially when they're really getting down the decoding aspects of words and they're trying to figure out the alphabetic principle and they're trying to put words together, it can be scary. It can be challenging. And so we want to commend them when they are brave enough to attempt it. And we want them to know that it is important to attempt it and that no matter how they do it, we are proud that they did it. Now, if we have to help them, we have to correct them, we have to ask them things like, try that again, or we want to say, get your mouth ready, or look at the beginning sound, look at the ending sounds, look at the sounds in the middle, now put it together. Even if we want to encourage that kind of language, we still want them to know how important it is and how proud of them we are when they are brave enough to try. Because a lot of times kids will decide they want to skip it. They don't even want to bother because they feel like failure is the worst thing in the world. And it isn't. It just means we're moving in a different direction, or that's not the way. Now we know that's not the answer. I've got to try something else. We want them to feel safe enough to do that. So we want to celebrate that. We want to cheer them on for their effort and their bravery. And then the final small win I want us to celebrate is laughing or smiling during reading time. If your child or your students are laughing and smiling during reading time, they're getting it. They're understanding, they're getting the point. They're enjoying it, they're loving it, they're pulling it into their soul. That's the very best moment. So when readers are enjoying something and it invokes that genuine reaction, you're on the right track. So we are going to celebrate these moments of joy, and we want to continue bringing positivity to each experience that we have with our child reading. I talked about this yesterday, so if you missed it, go check out that video, but I'm going to share it again because I think it's so crucial, especially in the beginning stages of when kids are learning to read, especially if kids don't like to read and kids are really not liking it or hating it at all. What we want to do is leave each reading session, each reading date, each reading moment, we want to leave that in a positive. We want their brain to remember good feelings around that moment so that when we go to do it again, they're like, okay, yeah, that's good. I want to do that. So that's really important. All right, so I hope these 5 small wins help you in your special time with reading with your child when you get to read with them. So I hope that this helps. And just make sure if you want any more tips, I have a weekly newsletter that goes out. It's my Readers in the Making newsletter. And if you want to grab that, all you have to do is subscribe to the link in the description and you'll be good to go. Until next time, we're going to go one page at a time. Take care.